Welcome to the Windy City Rundown. How's it feel? Yeah. Uh, Happy Victory Tuesday. Happy Victory Tuesday. Yeah, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Windy City Rundown here on Facebook and on YouTube, guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, share all our episodes on all our platforms. That is Jose Contreras. I am Eric Avila. We are back for another episode. And Jose, happy Victory Tuesday as our boys are now 3-2 for the season. How are you, my guy?
Yo, bro, why is John calling me right now in the middle of a show? John. Yo, you're on speaker on the JCA, and I'm just playing, on the Windy City Rundown, man. Say what's up to the people.
Hey, what's going on? What up? Go Dodgers, baby!
Baseball's over. It's okay.
You call me during the show. That's how I know you're not watching.
Yeah, exactly. You know he's fake. That's a fake guy right there. But what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Windy City Rundown. As Jose is on the phone with John DePlayer, I am Eric Avila. We are excited and happy here that the Chicago Bears won yesterday 25-24 in a game that, quite honestly, Jose had us all on pins and needles. We were together, speaking you, myself, and John too as well. We were together yesterday watching the game, and a lot of mixed emotions. We like how the Bears started. The running game looked amazing, something that we haven't seen in 4 weeks, or at least before the bye. And just another reason that Ben Johnson and his offense is working. Jose, takeaway from yesterday's game. What did you like? What didn't you like? Let's start with what did you like?
Man, what did I like? What didn't I like? I really like. You're starting to see the culture, Eric, of what this team is, I guess, creating, right? You're starting to see the difference with this head coach. You're starting to see this Bears team,
yes,
not lose tragically, but instead win miraculously. You know what I mean?
I hear you.
That's a good feeling, bro. That's my takeaway.
Yeah, these are the games that, especially the last 2 games before the bye against the Raiders in Vegas, and obviously yesterday on the road in the Commanders. 2 games that normally in past history the Chicago Bears lose, right? Lose in dramatic fashion, block field goal, interception, whatever the case may be. The Bears back-to-back games where they won on back-to-back field goals, and ironically, the same score too. Oddly enough. Also, the Bears also have done something that they haven't done in almost 30, 40 years, and that's scoring more than 21 points in the first 5 games of the season. Right? You know that the offense is working, the offense is humming, the offense is thriving, and Ben Johnson is doing his thing in Chicago, and rightfully so, and thankfully so, too. Jose, I mean, there's a lot of good takeaways. I mean, let's start. We start offensively. DeAndre Swift in the running game. We finally seen the Bears running game, dude, open up yesterday.
DeAndre Swift did his thing, had over 100 yards on the ground, touchdown, a lucky touchdown that Troy Aikman so happily pointed out. What a hater, by the way. But no, man, DeAndre Swift definitely had a game last night, a running game that we definitely needed, that this team desperately needed. So it was 100%. Good to see that for sure, man. And shout out to Manungai, who had a number of carries. He did his thing. It was those 2 running backs that really set the tone for sure.
Yeah, Jose. I mean, you could go from Anungai. You can also go with, even Roshan Johnson, who made an appearance or two yesterday too, as well, dude. It was crazy that we've seen a little bit of everything from the Bears running game yesterday. And quite frankly, it was a good sight to see, Jose. It was an amazing sight to see that the running game is finally working. Whatever they did in the offseason, or no, I'm sorry, during the bye, it worked perfectly. It worked tremendously, and it paid off. The weather was getting bad. And yeah, breaking runs. I think they averaged. I think it was like 4 or 5 yards a carry yesterday. And DeAndre Swift ran for 108 yards, adding 67 yards in reception with the touchdown as a receiving yard too as well. I mean, Caleb also did his thing too as well. 252 passing yards, 2 touchdowns total, 1 rushing, 1 passing, and in a battle of quarterbacks, Jose, again, another conversation that was leading up to the week, another conversation on 1 versus 2, and it looked like, not to put our bias aside, but it really did look like Caleb Williams looked better than Daniels yesterday, or am I tweaking?
Me personally, I think Jaden Daniels had some flashes, man. He still looks like he could be in the conversation as the better quarterback between the two. But Caleb definitely did his thing. Caleb took care of the ball. He didn't create any mistakes or turnovers for him and his
No,
team.
didn't.
I just think, given the six, I mean, stat wise, they're not too far apart. But all I'm saying is that Caleb, 100% in our eyes, Eric, we know is a better quarterback, but Jaden Daniels isn't far off. Is basically what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean?
No, I hear you. I hear you. But that was always the topic of conversation yesterday, especially like I said, number one versus number two yesterday. And he looked poised. Yes, that's what I liked about what's his name, Caleb Williams yesterday. He looked poised in all 4 quarters. Like the game didn't get over him. I think he didn't get as frustrated as he normally did, or he did last year. He looked cool, calm, and collective. And another drive, another game-winning drive, or another potential game-winning drive from Caleb Williams, and as he's constantly doing this as a Chicago Bears quarterback, something that we also have never seen in a consistent basis too as well. Say what you want to say, Jose, but I mean he methodically threw, the Bears. We just talk about the defense in a bit, capitalizing on a turnover in the last 4 minutes of the game, thanks to Daniels and what's his name? What's the running back's name? You have him. What's his name?
Bill Merritt.
Thank you. That another miscue from them too yesterday, Jose. And again, just methodically just going down the field. It was a short field, but taking the time off, taking 4 minutes off the clock in a game where they needed a game-winning drive, whether if it's touchdown, whether if it's a field goal, Jose. And Caleb was showing again why in clutch situations, he's that guy.
Oh, 100%, dude. Caleb showed that when they need him most, he's there. He'll put them in a position to win the game. They got in a position for the field goal. Jake Moody, credit to him for believing in himself, not letting what happened in San Francisco deter him, because he came in and he had a really good day. He missed one field goal; it was blocked, but man, he had a great day, and even better, even better night because he kicked a game-winning field goal. But no, Caleb definitely, in my eyes, still played a good game. I mean, obviously, he's developing under Ben Johnson. The goal is for him to be the quarterback where we all know he can be, but that's going to take some time, especially under Ben Johnson and this offense. We're only week? What was this, week 6?
Week 7, I think. No, week 6. Week 6.
We're only in week 6, guys. He's only going to get better from here. But for sure, what we have been seeing is that Ben Johnson definitely has a better grasp on the culture, on this team's identity, and that right there is refreshing, 100%.
Yeah, 100%. And another thing that also seemed a little bit refreshing too yesterday was the defense. The defense showed up, and what was the number one ranked offense rushing coming into this game yesterday in the Washington Commanders. They only held the Commanders to like 100 and some odd yards. It was their lowest so far of the season between the running of Daniel and Jacoby, Crosby Massett, whatever his name is. And let's call him Bill. He likes to be called Bill. Let's call him Bill to make it easier. But they shut down the running game, and they made the field short for Jaden Daniels to not make those passes, to not make those big essential runs. Obviously, it's going to happen from time to time again. He's going to escape for 10, 15 yards here and there, Jose. But, the Bears did a great job in the running game yesterday. They also forced 3 turnovers, an interception by Brisker, 2 fumble recoveries, one from Kyle Gordon, one from who was the other guy? His name is Nathan Norton. Wow, what's his name? But you know what I mean. 3 fumble recoveries, especially the last one in the last 4 minutes, Jose. This Bears defense also, another thing, got to Jaden Daniels. It may not shown in the sacks report, but he was pressured in making these off-timing throws for their quarterbacks, dude. And the Bears defense also stepped it up, who's also another talking point upcoming for this week.
No, yeah, 100%. The defense did its thing. One thing I noticed right away is that they were getting after the quarterback. Like when the ball was snapped, they were going after it, man. You saw effort, you saw relentless effort, and that's exactly what we want to see. Even if the result itself isn't a sack or a fumble or a turnover or anything like that, right? Just you alone playing hard eventually is going to work out in your favor, right? And you definitely seen that from the defensive line. You definitely seen it from the linebackers. And credit to that defense. Credit to the defensive coordinator. They've been really good the last 3 games with creating turnovers and getting us in the best position to win the game.
Yeah, 100%. As you're watching and listening to the Winning City Rundown here on Facebook and YouTube, guys, make sure you follow, like, and subscribe to all our pages, especially on YouTube. Hit the little bell on Facebook to get notified when our shows are live, and also on Facebook too as well. Subscribe, like, and follow on our page too. As we're talking about the Chicago Bears beating the Commanders yesterday 25-24 on a game-winning kick from Jake Moody, who went 4 for 5 and hit the game-winning field goal for 38 yards. A lot of positives from the Chicago Bears game and the victory yesterday against the Commanders, Jose. We talked about Caleb, the running game, the defense, the turnovers, like them stepping it up, even without the pressure, even without the number 1 cornerback, Jose. But along with the positive, there are also a few negatives as well. And the first negative I have, Jose, is the offense, and where we could have capitalized on some touchdown plays, either missed plays from Caleb Williams, having DJ and Rome open down the field for big plays or for touchdowns, especially the one from Rome where he just ran out of bounds. Still got the first down, but had Rome wide open. But they couldn't capitalize on some of the field goals into touchdowns where they had those opportunities, Jose. And those are one thing that the Chicago Bears need to fix if they want to be competitive throughout the whole entire season when better teams are coming down later on the schedule.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's a lot that they could work on for sure. That's definitely one of them. Another one for sure. Like I want to see more touchdowns from Caleb. You started to see a little bit yesterday when him throwing downfield to Rome, right? I want to see a lot more completions. I want to see a lot more of those big touchdown plays. Him 100%. Showing his big arm because he has it, man. Like, man, he has it. Right, and everyone talks about his accuracy and is it there, is it not there? That's what I want to see a little bit more, right? The running game was obviously the big issue, offensively. Maybe a game like what we got yesterday was something DeAndre Swift needed to continue that, right? You have him on guy, you're starting to see that 2 running back set that Ben Johnson loved in Detroit. You're starting to see that a little bit with Monangai and with DeAndre Swift, right?
Yep,
it's good. Now let's see the passing game unleashed. Now let's see what Caleb can do with his arm.
Yep.
The guy has weapons, man. You saw Luther Burden yesterday. There, DJ Moore is still there. Rome Odunze is starting to turn to be your number 1 wide receiver. Like the weapons are there, man.
Weapons are 100% there. You're absolutely right, Jose. And also right here on our Facebook comment page, Isaiah. What's up, man? Hope you're doing well. Everything is good on your side, man. Thank you very much for joining us. Bear down, 100%. Bear down. This is a great Bears victory Tuesday as they win 25-24 against our Commanders. Our Commanders, what the fuck? Against the Commanders.
We know where your loyalty lies, Eric.
Wow, man, Eric, what is wrong with you, my guy? Oh, shit.
An accident.
Wow. You can also join us on the link is also too in the comment section as well. the Chicago for us to join the show too as well, or join us as well. Isaiah says, "Love, always support." I appreciate you, my guy. Thank you very much for joining us. As always, follow, like, and share our shows too as well on your Facebook or on your YouTube page. Another thing that also hurt us that the Bears should also fix too as well. I know it takes time, but Jose, 9 more penalties for 84 yards. Now, granted, let's clear up a few things, right? 9 penalties is still 9 penalties. They still mark them, but the Bears kind of got a few penalties that kind of weren't deserving. But that's still nonetheless, Jose. Another talking point, another negative for the Chicago Bears that they just fall behind the sticks way too often. When they're close, they just like to go back, 1 step forward, 3 steps back, and it's a real concern for the Chicago Bears.
Not kind of. There was like 3 penalties that weren't deserving. But at the same time, part of the game, don't put yourself in that position to get screwed over by the refs. And I
Right.
know that's hard, right? Because looking at, even when they show the replays, you're like, what are we looking at? There was definitely no penalty. But I get it, man. Yeah, yesterday was just one of those games that the Bears are going against everybody. The commander, I mean, your commanders, they're going against your commanders. They're going against the refs. They're going against the commentators. You know what I mean? Like it was crazy. The result was still there. Eric. The dub was the result. We love to see it.
Right.
But yeah, man, once those penalties get taken care of, and Ben Johnson said it in his little post game speech to the team. Imagine how we will look when we stop these penalties.
Yeah.
And it was just true. Imagine, right? What they can accomplish when those penalties aren't a factor. You know what I mean? So 100%, man. I'm definitely excited to see the continued growth of this team. It just finally feels good to be on the other side of it, Eric. With the last win against the Raiders,
Yeah.
and then this week, like both comes down to a field goal.
Yep.
One was missed or one was blocked with the Raiders, and then the other this week for us was made in. It's just, man, you don't us as Bears fans, we don't get these often.
No, we definitely don't, Jose. And it's a nice feeling, right? It's a great feeling. Something that, like you said, we were on the other side, getting our heart broken, getting our field goals blocked, getting field goals made on us, right? Last minute touchdowns, right? We still haven't had a last minute touchdown score to win the game, but you feel confident that's going to happen, and it's going to happen soon, or it's going right real soon.
Yep.
And again, like, it's weird. The Bears have won 25-24 the last 2 games. Like, that's the score against the Raiders and the Commanders. But the thing that's also great about that, Jose, is that they're doing this on the road. And then adversity really doesn't, really kick in. And on top of that, Jose, even on top of the adversity, Jose, I think for the first time in a very, very long time, I say we could say confidently that we have a quarterback that will get us in the position to win these games via touchdown or via field goal. Do you feel the same way?
Yeah. You talking about the kicker?
No, I'm talking about the quarterback. Like, we finally have a
no.
quarterback who's just like, you're just confident in that he's gonna deliver for us in the last moments of the game.
Yeah, dude, 100%. I felt like that even last year. I feel like you started to see those flashes. I mean, you think about the Hail Mary pass that happened last year with the Washington Commanders. That happened because Caleb put us in a position to win that game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then it's just credit to Jaden Daniels and the Washington Commanders, right? Everything went right their way. This year was different. This year was our turn. You know what I mean? And that's what feels good. You know what I mean? This year was our turn. But you've always seen that with Caleb Williams. We always seen that. It wasn't a surprise that he put us in a position to win. He's going to continue to put us in a position to win. He doesn't turn the football over, Eric. He takes care of it. That's the one thing that's underrated about him. Nobody talks about that enough. Or when people do talk about that, they're like, "Oh, he's not as, he's really conservative with football. He's not really, out there." And I kind of feel like that's like just more of the bad rep that he's getting. But dude, like he does take care of the football. He makes makes wise choices. He doesn't put his team in a position to lose. He puts them in a position to win, and that's the one thing that everybody should start appreciating about Caleb Williams.
No, 100%. He's really smart with the ball. For sure. He knows what he's doing with the ball. And I think that's key too, as well, that we finally have a quarterback who actually knows how to play the position at a very high level. And like you're right. I mean, he only has what? He only has 2 interceptions so far this year, 3 interceptions so far this year with 9 touchdowns, 8 touchdowns. He's up there. And you're alluding to something that you're right. It doesn't get talked about a lot simply because I think this is what we are expecting from him, right? We are expecting him to be, this type of quarterback on a week to week basis. We're a quarterback that, that is proven or can prove that he could play the position that type of level. And right now he's on pace to do something that the Bears have never seen in their history, Jose. A 4,000-yard passing quarterback with a 30+ touchdown a season for a Chicago Bears quarterback. He's on pace for that, man. And it is something that we cannot take for granted. And also at the same time, Jose, it's something that we have to get comfortable in getting used to, because we have a quarterback for the future that can do that on a consistent basis, given the health.
Yeah, given the health, but he's gonna be fine, man. He's gonna be healthy. The offensive line is you're starting to see them playing the type of football we want to see them play. They're protecting the quarterback. They're giving them time to throw. They're giving them time to move.
Yeah.
It's only getting better from here. So, I mean, that being said, he still got sacked, right? He was still getting chased yesterday. So it wasn't perfect. But even with the run block scheme, the reason why DeAndre Swift had a good game, because you started to see this offensive line, like I said, mesh well together, gel well. I mean, they're doing their job. They're definitely doing their job. So that's a good thing right there for sure. And yeah, man, we have a quarterback, Eric. I think you and I both know that. For whatever reason, the national media or everybody outside of Chicago doesn't know it. Or hell, there's some people in Chicago that doesn't want to believe it, but you and I believe it. And yeah, man, we got a good one.
It's like he still needs to prove something to us that he's the guy, right? And maybe it is a playoff appearance, Jose. Maybe it is a playoff win. Maybe it's something like that for those type of people that need to believe in Caleb Williams. It has to be that extreme, right? Hell, even some people, the extreme upon extreme, like take us to a Super Bowl, win or lose, just take us to a Super Bowl. There's still some people that believe that's what they need to do in order for them to believe in Caleb Williams. In all honesty, if you're gonna be that person, the time for you to hop on the bandwagon will probably be too late, because you were never a believer in the first place, right? At least that's how I see things. But no, you're absolutely right. You and I, we're here about Caleb Williams. We see the potential in the guy. We see the potential in Caleb that he could take us to whatever step that may be, playoffs, Super Bowl wins, maybe, hopefully, God willing. He gives us that. But you're absolutely right, Jose. We have a quarterback, and that's rare for us to say here as Chicago Bears fans, saying that we have a quarterback in our disposal.
It is. But like I said, you and I know that, Eric. I think for others, they got to see him, perform like a Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes. I'm not saying like, go win a Super Bowl. I'm saying get us to like 12 and whatever, 13 and whatever, 14 wins throughout the season, right? Get us to that. Yeah, get us to that. Win us a division. Consistently play like you're the better quarterback on the field week in, week out, right? There should be no doubt in anybody's mind coming out of a football game like, yeah, Caleb did his thing, right? Win or lose, right? Like we all, like the Bills lost 2 in a row to the Patriots, to the Falcons. We both still know that Josh Allen is that guy. That 100%. any given Sunday, he will wheel that team to victory. No ifs, ands, or buts. That's where Caleb needs to get to. It's going to take time. This is only his second year, first year under this head coach and scheme. So I'm not asking for that right away. But to answer your question, as far as like, people, that's the type of consistency people want to see in order for them to get on board. And you're right. Will it be too late? Maybe, right? I mean, it's never really too late to believe in this. It's never really. too late to believe in somebody. It isn't.
Right.
It's never too late to believe in someone, to be a fan of someone, right? But at the same time, you could save yourself a lot of "I told you so." You know what I mean?
100%. 110%. Windy City Rundown here on Facebook and on YouTube, guys. Make sure you like and subscribe all our shows. Hit the little bell to get notified when our shows are live on Facebook and also on YouTube. And always like and share all of our shows. Jose, this is the part of the schedule where we kind of looking forward to, right? These next 4 games, right? Very winnable games in the next couple of weeks. The first one here at home for the first time in what feels like forever since the Bears played in Soldier Field. But they got the Saints here coming into town this week, man. It's a silly, stupid question, but still a silly, stupid question to ask, man. Is this a must win for the Bears just to keep the momentum, just to continue the momentum, bro, to heading up these next couple of weeks?
New Orleans 100% must win. It's New Orleans is playing good football. Look, they're a bad team, but they're feisty.
They're scrappy.
They're scrappy. You know what I mean? And that's basically what I'm looking forward to. You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm looking forward to for the Bears. I always said if the Bears are going to be a bad team losing games, I want them to be a team that's scrappy, that's going to fight, that's really going to hurt. Nobody wants to see them. You know what I mean? New Orleans is starting to become that team, right? They're a scrappy team. They might be an easy team, right, on paper, but when you're on that field, they're definitely gonna fight tooth and nail. We still have a better team at the end of the day. I feel like we still have a better coaching staff at the end of the day. We should still very much win this game, but the Commanders probably got the same thing against the Bears. You know what I mean? And look at us. We beat them. So any given Sunday, anybody can beat you. Don't let the Saints beat you. Still come out with an edge.
No,
Still come out with a chip on your shoulder. And I think the Bears definitely win, but it's not going to be no easy one.
No, it's not going to be an easy one, Jose. And all the games that the Saints have played at home have been a lot more closer than the 2 games that they played on the road. Now, the 2 road games that the Saints have played were at Seattle and at Buffalo, and they got blown out. They got beat by the Seattle Seahawks 44-13 and 31-19. Take whatever you want to take from that, what I just tell you, but just to let you know that both of those games are outdoors. And the other 4 games that they played at home, all indoors. So again, advantage Bears on that aspect, but still they've been playing a lot better at home than they have on the road. This is only their 3rd road game coming up this week against the Chicago Bears. And to answer the question, this is easy pickings. This should be easy pickings for the Chicago Bears. This should be another W for the Chicago Bears this upcoming week. I mean, these next 4 games, Jose, it's you could kind of see the Bears being favored in probably 3 of the next 4. But it starts on Sunday at home. Like, take care of home field advantage. Take care of this of the Saints. Not a good team, 1-5, but excuse me, but you must ride this momentum as long as you can, for as long as you can, and do it in a consistent basis. Because the next 4 games, Jose, as I have it right here, the Bears have the Saints here at home. Then they go on the road against the Ravens and the Bengals. Lamar will be back. Don't know what Lamar we're going to get. Don't know what kind of Ravens we're going to get, but it's still the Baltimore Ravens at the end of the day. They're going to be coming off their bye. On top of that, they desperately need a win to somewhat salvage a season that so far looks like it's unsalvageable. But still, it's Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. Then we have the Bengals, who, without Joe Burrow, don't look like they're a very good team. And then the Giants come back here at home, a very interesting New York Giants, Jose.
I was going to say, I don't agree with a favorable schedule. I still think it's tough. The Saints game, again, on paper, you should win. But anything can happen, right? The Ravens game, I think Lamar Jackson comes back. I think it's a statement game for him. It's a game when they're coming off a bye. It's an extra week of him being able to get healthy, the team being able to turn it around, recollect their thoughts. I think the Bears, in their eyes, are slim pickings. Like, hey, this is a get right game, right? So it's not going to be easy against Baltimore. Going to Cincinnati, that's now 2-3 more weeks with Joe Flacco under that system. Joe Flacco is not a scrub. He is a
No, definitely
former
not a scrub.
Super Bowl winning quarterback, and
Thanks.
he has better weapons in Cincinnati than he did with Cleveland. You just saw this past week that one touchdown to Jamar Chase. That was just week 1 together. Imagine 3 more weeks. It's not going to be easy against the Cincinnati Bengals at all. And then you face the Giants. The Giants who look like they have a spark, whether they're winning or losing. Jackson Dart brings a spark. Cam Scatterby brings a spark.
Yeah.
That is not going to be an easy win at all. And that defensive line is amazing. That defense is strong.
Yeah, that front seven is crazy.
So it's not going to be as easy as you think, Eric. I'm sorry, but it isn't. The Bears are going to have to fight every single one of these games. I wouldn't be surprised if they go 3-1. I wouldn't be surprised if they go 1-3. I really wouldn't. So it all depends on the Bears and how they have been playing. Now the coaching staff has gotten them ready for the game, so it can go either way.
Yeah, I hope you're wrong. I hope the Bears do win 3 out of 4, 100%. They're not, and no game in the NFL is easy. You're absolutely right, but these are games that are very winnable for the Chicago Bears. You're absolutely, you said Joe Flacco and the Cincinnati Bengals that can do something, can prove something. You're still right. Defense is still ass. The defense isn't that good. The Ravens, they get Lamar Jackson back after being gone for the last 2-3 weeks and coming off a bye. Their defense is ass. Probably the worst defense in the league right now. They also might get Roquan Smith back that week too as well against the Chicago Bears. A scrappy New Orleans Saints, you said. Yes, they're very scrappy, but on the road, not very good. And I can say the same thing about the New York Giants. They also a 1-5 team, a very scrappy team too as well, Jose. But on the road, they haven't been looking very good. Their only win is against the Eagles, but they were at home. But they didn't look good against the Commanders on the road. The Dallas Cowboys defense, we tore them apart. That was the only close game that they got, and Russell Wilson did whatever he did at that time. But they did lose just this past week against the Saints that we are going to face this week too as well, and they didn't even look that good. So again, take it for what you've seen lately, but these are very winnable games that the Bears should take advantage of because the Bears are better coached. The Bears have the better offense and somewhat of a good defense. Still can't get to the pass rusher. Still can't get to the quarterback. They did a very decent job yesterday applying pressure to Jayden Daniels, but still couldn't get the sack. Which is very important for the defensive line, but they're doing something different. They're applying pressure and they're getting healthy back. They got Kyle Gordon back. They got Brisker looking healthy. They got TJ Edwards looking healthy. Jalen Johnson is still out for a period amount of time, but when he gets back, that's still number one, probably one of the top 5 cornerbacks in the league.
Yep.
It's very possible that the Bears can go 3-1, the very best. I don't think they're going to go 4-0. I think that Baltimore game will probably be too over emotional. I think too much hype, too much excitement coming in, especially the Ravens coming out the bye. But the other 3 games, Jose, it's there for the Bears to take and also put another stranglehold in this NFC North that is very, very tight.
Yeah.
Windy City Rundown. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I say Windy City Rundown here on Facebook and on YouTube, guys. Make sure you follow us on all our social media platforms, on Instagram, TikTok, and also on Twitter. Go ahead.
No. I was just gonna say, time will tell. We'll see what happens here. I very much believe the Bears can win those games. I don't want it to be a shock, if the other teams come in rolling. You know what I mean? So it all depends, man. In the NFL, anything can happen.
Yeah, it's a week by week league, Jose. Yep. We already seen plenty of surprises so far in these last 5 weeks. Hell, we had one yesterday with the Falcons beating the Bills in a fashion that we didn't think it was going to happen. We seen what else have we seen? It's football. It's the NFL. Crazy shit happens weekly, dude. So yeah. Jose, I guess we might as well just still talk about it, even though it's already been a couple of days, Jose. And the fact of the matter is that baseball's over. Baseball's over for us. The Chicago Cubs did lose over the weekend against the Milwaukee Brewers on a game 5, and where nobody showed up. Or let me not say nobody. The offense didn't show up, Jose. Um, and it's very disappointing, especially with a team that had a very good offense throughout the whole entire regular season for all 162 games. A team that looked like they could score at will at times. And for the last 2 series between uh, the Padres and the Brewers, the Cubs struggled to score more than one run in most of these games, Jose. Um, yeah, I mean, how did you feel about when the Cubs lost on Saturday?
I mean, in the series, they had their moments, right? The first inning seemed to be very, very, the first inning did well for the Cubs, right? That's when they did the most of their scoring. It was after that where they were just, it was hard, right? Crickets. The bats weren't alive as you wanted them to be.
Yeah.
I wouldn't lie. I'm not gonna sit here and lie saying I wasn't disappointed when they lost, Eric. But at the same time, I had to remind myself that my expectation going into the season wasn't that they were going to win a championship. I didn't believe that they could, right? Everything that we've seen transpire at the end of the season to the playoffs was legitimately a surprise, right? We knew going in that, hey, once they made the playoffs, anything can happen. We always say that with any team. Once you're in, anything can happen. And when momentum is on your side, that's power in the MLB playoffs, right? It's power in any playoffs, but especially in baseball. So, and they had it. They had it because they had those 4 wins against, what was it, the St. Louis Cardinals going in, and the bats were alive. They were scoring 10 plus runs. So the momentum was 100% there. What hurt was not having their aces, was not having Cade Horton, was not having Justin Steele, was not doing anything in the trade deadline to help pitching. That is what hurt the Cubs. So when they lost and they got eliminated, that all those feelings came back to me. You know what I mean? Like, hey, it was still a good season. It was a surprise. Kudos to them. Credit to the players, to the coaching staff for getting us here, for making it fun in Chicago in October. We haven't felt that in a really, really long time. Chicago sports has been nothing but a disappointment lately. And the Cubs, 100%, like what's the word? They sparked the city once again. It was really, really, really cool to see. Now, this Chicago fan base has been starving so much that even the White Sox fans were like, we're getting into it. Not a lot of them, right? But like most of them, people are arguing online like, hey, can the Sox fans really jump on this bat? Like yes and no, right? Like no, they can't, but at the same time, like they're starving for a winner. The Cubs were winning. The Cubs were exciting. It was cool. It was fun. At the end of the day, it was still disappointment, but more so because of what they weren't able to do, in the trade deadline. And then that definitely showed in really like we had here in the playoffs. Now, Eric is having technical difficulties, so he'll be back. But that's the one thing I want everybody to remember, right? We did not expect much from this team. We were criticizing this team after the trade deadline and what they didn't do, giving us arms or giving us more hitters or something, right? There was more questions than they were answers. And
I'm back. Sorry.
Yeah, Eric's back. But that's just the one thing I like, for me, Eric, and I'm not sure if you heard a lot of that, but that's the biggest thing, right? Disappointment, but then reality struck, right?
100%.
We knew what this team wasn't going to do, and they weren't going to win a championship until they gave us hope, right? Hope came, hope left, and then reality sat in, right? And you're like, fuck, we should have done more at the trade deadline. Fuck, we didn't
100%.
have our best pitchers. That probably would have helped in some of these games, especially the first 2 games of this series when Milwaukee just blew us out of the water.
Yeah, Jose, you're absolutely right, man. And this is probably the perfect scenario for Ricketts. They got the playoff tickets, they got the playoff money. They got extra what 5 home games. You know, the 3 against the Padres, the 2 here against the Milwaukee Brewers. They got 5 extra games of revenue of close to, if not 2, 3, 4, $5 million, whatever the Cubs rank in on a daily basis for every game, dude. And like that was it. Like, hey, we gave you a team to you guys to support, for you guys to like. You got us to the playoffs. That's all we can ask for, right? No real commitment to say like, hey, like we want to fucking win. We want to bring a championship back to Chicago. We miss this atmosphere, so on and so forth. Blah blah blah. That wasn't it.
We don't know that, Eric. We don't know that to be the case.
Oh, dude, come on
now. I
viewed
it. I look as much. I hear you, and I don't want to sound gullible, right? And I agree with what you're saying as far as like that's the Chicago ownership in every sport here in the city has shown us that type of mentality that you just brought up, right?
Yeah.
But then I hope it's the opposite with Ricketts. I hope he sees this like, damn, you know what? I do miss this. You know what? Like when the Cubs are good and in the playoffs, this city's on fire. So yes, I want this to continue. Yeah. And the only way that's going to continue is if we have good product on the field, and maybe I should start throwing just a little bit more money here to ensure that happens year in, year out, so I can consistently have that extra 5 games here and there.
I don't believe it for one bit, Jose. I really don't. I want to. I want to believe that Ricketts has that mentality. I want to believe that Ricketts like had that fire of trying to compete for a championship. I want to believe that 110%. I really, really do. I don't, because after 16, I felt like he did something that no other. Oh, hey, what's up, Tony? He did something that no other Cubs owner, manager, whatever did, and that's bring the Cubs a World Series in 16. And I felt like that right then and there, it was all done and dusted. Like it was it. Everything else, the Cubs will just still soak in that galore of 2016 for the next 10, 15, 20 years, Jose. We're about to go year number 10 next year. It's been 10 years next year that the Cubs won the World Series, bro. He said, too soon to talk baseball. It's football season now. No, 100%. But, I mean, we had to talk about it, Tony. I mean, the Cubs season was highly disappointed. It ended in a very disappointing year, or in a disappointing fashion. And like I do wish that this does provide a spark in the ownership to do something, Jose, but I've seen too much of like they like to sit on their asses and not do anything and just reap all the money at Wrigley Corporation. Us fans just go and gives him money, and he doesn't spend a single dime on the team to compete to take it to the next level.
Yeah, I mean, Tony goes and said we ran into a super hot team. Look, the Brewers, in my eyes, were the better team. I said that before the playoffs, even started. They were a better team. They shown that in the regular season. They won the division for a reason. They were 100% the better team. 100%. They're a well-rounded team. Like their bats were alive. They have good pitching. The bullpen came in, showed up, and showed out in some of those games. So 100%, man. They did everything they needed to do because they are a talented, super talented team. You don't have that record in the regular season if you're not. So a lot of credit. We can't sit here and say the Cubs lost that series. We got to sit here and give a lot of credit, majority of the credit, to the Brewers. We ran into a buzzsaw. We ran into a better team. It just sucks, Eric, because it seemed like this year it was wide open. It seemed like it seems like this year in baseball it's wide open. Don't get me wrong, and that's not to downplay the Mariners or the Blue Jays or the Dodgers, right? The Brewers. It's not to downplay those teams. It just seems there's really there really isn't one dominant team out there. Anybody can be beat at any given day. And I feel like if we just had the pitching, we probably would have been pretty dangerous.
No, 100%. And that's where I was going with. Like it was such a wide open competition for the World Series, for the championship, that any team could possibly win it. And that's why I really don't believe that they ran into a super hot team. I didn't believe it. I didn't think the Brewers were that hot, and you could kind of tell like they had their moments throughout the series too as well. Yes, they ran a lot, or they carried a lot in the momentum for the home game, right? The home field advantage, right? But I still wholeheartedly believe that the Cubs could still take advantage and still beat the Milwaukee Brewers if just the right people would just showed up. Kyle Tucker showing up, Ian Happ showing up. I mean, the only one that showed up was Seiya, right? PCA showed up, and like you could kind of tell, you really see that when they came here to Wrigley, like they fed off their energy. It was basically a home field advantage series, anyways. But regardless of the fact, Jose, like I still believe that the Cubs were a smidge better, but they just didn't show up at the right time. And quite frankly, I still don't know how they got through from the Padres, but I still believe like they kind of what's the word I'm saying? They kind of crawled into this round to the NLDS to play against the Brewers.
But that's why I feel like pitching would have made a difference. Let's forget the trade deadline. Let's just talk about Cade Horton and Justin Steele. Had we had those pitchers in the playoffs, remember it was game one. It was game one when the Brewers put up, I think, 6 or 7 points in the first inning.
Yeah,
and that was after the Cubs struck first.
But Jose, at the same time, Jose.
What I'm saying is, if we had one of those pitchers in game one, the Brewers probably wouldn't have gone out to that big start, and we would have already had a lead going into the game, and that could have went either way. Then game two, same thing. First inning is where it blew wide open. The first inning we went up 3-0, and then they came back, tied it, and then from there they just continued to score. Again, had we had one of those two pitchers, it would have made a difference. It probably would have made a difference. I
don't think it would. I don't think it would, because the one thing that you're really missing out on, Jose, is that after the first inning, the Cubs really didn't do squat afterwards batting. Hitting wise, it wasn't there.
That's also my point. That's also my point. If we had good pitching, we wouldn't have to do squat.
Yeah, but you still also need to score runs to win, Jose. You need to outscore your opponent. You
scored it in the first inning, Eric.
I get you, Jose, but even if it's the first inning, you're talking about 8 more other innings left of the game.
But you got to remember that in the first game, our pitcher came on 3 days rest. He came on 3 days rest in the first inning, and then the second inning was a bullpen day.
I understand that, Jose, but even then, the bats still didn't show up for all the other innings. It doesn't matter if you had, I don't know,
where was Shota?
You could even bring Mark Pryor, Kerry Wood, Carlos Zambrano, Jake Arrieta, John Lester. You could have brought all those pitchers in. Jose, the bats did not show up at all in the series. The only time the bats showed up was when they won 5-6-0 for Game 4. That was the only time the bats showed up, and that was it. Throughout the 7 games that they played, Jose, they did not show up at all this whole entire series. This whole entire playoff, the offense didn't show up.
But you're also an athlete, Eric, right? You mean to tell me that if the vibe is a little different, if there's a shift in the air with any momentum, all I'm saying is that with those two pitchers, the Brewers probably wouldn't have opened up the scoring as they did with Shota and I forgot who pitched game one.
Boyd.
Boyd on 3 days rest. They probably wouldn't have been as dominant at the very least in the first inning. So what I'm saying is, right, as an athlete, if you see that, hey, your pitching is actually keeping you in the game, right? You're struggling to score, but it's still, let's just say, a 1-run lead, or it's tied or something, right? It's just not like 9-3 like it was. That you're dejected at that point, right? You still have life. You still have life in you. Anything could happen. But when you're down 9-1 in whatever inning that was in the first game, you're acting out of desperation, which is probably messing with your psyche. But then you're also dejected because there's nothing you can do.
I hear you. I completely hear you, and I know where you're going with this, Jose. But we are only scoring 3 runs, 4 runs, 7 runs, 1 run. That it's not consistently there, and the pitching was still good enough to get you there, Jose.
It was not good enough.
The pitching was still decent enough to get you there. Even the bullpen sessions.
The second game, more than anything, it was not
about
there.
One game where they got the doors blown out of them. That's just one game.
2 games, Eric.
All the other games afterwards, Jose, we're all 1-2, except for
that
one.
was 2 games.
Except for one, Jose.
No.
But I'm even still talking about the Padres series. Even the Padres series, the Cubs still struggled.
That really doesn't mean anything.
They still struggled throughout the whole entire series against the Padres too as well, trying to hit the damn ball. Jose, when PCA,
but we still won the game. But we still won the game. Why? Because pitching was at its best in that series. I feel like the Padres series kind of alludes to my point even more. When pitching is there, right? You're right. The bats weren't alive. You and Tony are right. The bats weren't alive as much as we wanted them to be. But in the playoffs, everything slows down a little bit. In the playoffs, right, everything's a little bit more methodical. I think the Padres series kind of helps my case that when pitching is right, you can win the game, or something can happen when you're still in it. But those two first games were everything to the Brewers. Those first two games, they blew the game. They blew in the first inning. They blew everything out. The first game, it was the first inning that killed them. In the second game, they tied it after the Cubs scored 3 in the first. The Brewers tied it, and then after that, it just continued because there was no pitching to keep the Cubs alive. Had there been pitching, maybe we had a chance. Otherwise, there was no chance.
No. When Swanson, PCA, Kyle Tucker, Ian Happ, the other main beef of your team, Carson Kelly on top of that too as well, are batting just above 100. That's not good. When they're striking out more than they are getting hits, that's not good, Jose. And a team that didn't strike out was probably like the 5th or 6th least struck out team, was the most struck out team in the playoffs. When they have combined 39 strikeouts together in a 5-game series against the Brewers, Jose, that's a problem. The pitching was there. They were close. They were close in every single game except for one. And yet the bats didn't come alive to even change it, to even apply the pressure. Jose, I could tell you this from the start. I was there for game. They were not close to games. I saw it with my own 2 eyes, Jose. We had a man on first and second with 0 outs, with Kyle Tucker, Ian Happ, and Seiya Suzuki coming up to bat with 0 outs, Jose. 0. Man on first and second. What did we do? Bupkis. You know what the score was? 2-1. It was still there for the taking for the Chicago Cubs to even do something.
What game are you talking about?
All you want, and I hear you 110%, Jose.
What game are you talking about?
It's game 5, the last one, the one on Saturday.
Eric, that's not Eric. Let's be honest. I'm talking about the first 2 games. I'm with
I'm talking about the whole entire playoffs, Jose. The first 2 games mean nothing when I'm talking about the Padres series and the Milwaukee series. When they struggle to score after they score their runs, they struggle to score after. I'm talking about it could be the second inning, the first inning, they still struggle to score after. You're right. Playoff baseball slows down a little bit, but still having consistent people on base, consistent good at bats for that team to even play small ball, that wasn't even in the Cubs' MO at all for the whole entire playoffs. And their big bats, their big paid players didn't even been close to show up in any of these playoff series, Jose.
That I'm not arguing. I'm not arguing that when it came down to it in the last game in Game 5, the Cubs had a chance.
Game 3, Game 2.
No, not Game 1 and Game 2 did not. That wasn't even close. It wasn't even close, Eric. They were blown out the water early.
Game 3 of the Padres series too as well.
That game. What do you mean they won the series? That doesn't matter. That negates everything you're saying. No. We're talking about
struggle to score.
They still won the series, Eric. It doesn't matter. I'm talking about in the Brewer series alone. That's where I feel like pitching, if we had those 2 guys, would have helped. Because even then in the last game, yes, we had every opportunity to win. But even in that game, had we had the pitching that we were supposed to have in Steele and Hort, I can't even think of Horton, right?
Kate Horton.
And those 2 guys, had we had the pitching, we would have been a little bit more fresher in that game. We probably wouldn't have gave up those 2 runs. Anything could have happened. One run could have been enough for the Cubs. That's the thing. That's the thing that we could hang our hats on, is that we faced the Brewers' best pitching lineup. And yes, we didn't score as much as we wanted to, but at least in those last 3 games, not only did we win 2 of them, but we were close to winning the last one, right? they can't say the same thing. They face us with our best pitchers. Maybe they don't beat us game 1, game 2. Maybe we don't even go to a game 5. Maybe we don't. And then all this doesn't matter, right? Maybe we don't. Maybe the Brewers still blow us out of the water game 1, but then game 2, we definitely don't start Shota, and we do something there. We don't give up 3 in the first. We don't give up 2 in the second, right? Whatever it was. We don't give up those pitches. We don't give up those home runs. And I feel like and think about this. We scored 3 in the first, and then we only give up maybe 1 run in the first. Maybe that's enough. Maybe that's enough to win game 2, right? We'd still go to Chicago, boom, and and that's it. Series is over, right? All I'm saying is that we can't ignore the fact that our pitching could have made a difference in at least one of the first 2 games in Milwaukee. That's all I'm trying to say.
The pitching was good enough for you to win the series.
Not in the second game.
Still good enough to win you the series. It was still good enough. Offensively, they were not there, Jose. I'm sorry, but
they got you to a game 5, but you can't ignore that it could have.
The pitching was good enough to get you to game 5, Jose, as well. The pitching was fine to get you to game 5 too, as well, Jose. Don't. It's not that they had missing.
So we're just gonna ignore game 2 then. We're just gonna ignore game 1 and 2. So we're just gonna ignore that.
I mean, like you said, I'm also like I'm not ignoring game 1 and game 2. Game 1 was out the door, but game 2 was still there. The game 2 was still there for the taking because they were still tied 3-3 for a couple innings before they blow off the doors, dude.
So you tell me then. You tell me why did we lose game 1 and 2? You tell me why did we lose game 1 and 2? It wasn't because of the bats. I'll tell you that.
It was definitely because of the bats. What you mean, Jose?
So we're supposed to. So we're supposed to match 9. So we're supposed to match 9 runs in the first game. We're supposed to match 9 runs.
Game one is different. Game 1 was out the door. I understand game 1. Game 2, the game was still there because they were still tied for 4 innings, 3-3. Right? Bro. We did what we had to do here in Chicago. They only blew them out once in game 4, but game 5, it was there. It was 1-1 for so many, and it was 1-1 for 4 innings, 5 innings. It was still 2-1 to the 6th inning, Jose.
My
but
point.
The
thing is, you're using the last 3 games to your advantage. I'm using the first 2 to mine. We got to meet at a happy medium here, Eric. I'm not arguing the last 3 games. The Cubs won game 3 and game 4. There's no arguing there. We won that game. There's no arguing there.
Up for 4 out of the 5 games, Jose.
You have a good argument with game 5 where we had a chance and we didn't. But what I'm saying is we wouldn't even have gone to a game 5 had we had one of our 2 best pitchers in game 1 or game 2, and maybe we don't get blown out. That's my point here. That's all I'm trying to say. I'm with you 100% on game 5. We had every opportunity. Our bats were to blame there. I don't blame pitching for game 5. I do blame hitting for game 5. I'm blaming pitching solely on the first 2 games because we would not have given up that many runs with any, you name it, with Justin Steele or Cade Horton. Those guys would not have given up that many runs to the Brewers, and maybe we would have made it competitive or even stole one in Milwaukee. That's all I'm trying to say.
No, I don't agree because when you only scored 3 runs in the first and nothing happens afterwards, Jose, and it was I look 4 hits, 3 runs, whatever, 5 hits, 3 runs, whatever the case it was for game 2, it was still there. I and to go with Tony's comment, I think next season Steele, Horton, Boyd, and Chino and Tyon to be your pitching staff next year, it's not good enough. It's not good enough to have Steele, Horton, Boyd, Shota, and Tyon. It's not good enough. I'm sorry, but it isn't. You still need an ace. Even this is the same. You still need an ace to help you.
You probably have it though. You probably have it with Steele. You probably have it with Horton. It could be one of those 2.
I don't think so. I said it this year coming up, or this past season. I said that even with Steele and with Shota, we're still short pitchers.
So Cade Horton, who's going to be rookie of the year, didn't show you that he could be an ace.
That's completely fine because that came later on into the season.
Doesn't matter. It's reality. It's where we're at now. We're talking about next year.
But this is still not good. This is not good enough. This pitching staff is still not good enough. This pitching staff still needs an ace. There is no ace in here. I would be
your ace
if they got Freddie Peralta, if they got Dylan Cease, if they got whatever top of the line pitcher that's coming up in this free agency class, you get one of them, then okay. Then we have something to talk about because at least they have somebody, a go-to starter for game one or whatever case may be. But this pitching staff,
I
to
think
me, it's
I
still
think you're
not good
talking
enough.
about. I think you're talking about. Okay, in 2015, who was really your ace? Was it John Lester or was it Jake Arrieta?
It was Lester,
But Arrieta was the better pitcher.
but Arrieta became your ace.
Okay, so then I think that's what you need. That's what you. That's what I feel like. That's what you're trying to say right now, is that we need a proven starter, a proven ace, with someone like Horton who can potentially be your ace, right? But I think Horton's showing you he could be your ace if just give him the opportunity. This is only his first year and he killed it. And then Justin Steele,
cool.
Did Justin Steele not like almost was he not an ace last year? Was he not putting up ace numbers last year?
Steele to me, yes, he was, but Steele, it's Steele is still not like a bona fide ace. He's like a very good number two. Like if he's your number two with a really good ace in front of him, like a real good number one, then he's perfectly where he's at, where he could also have the potential to become another ace in your team. But like I said, like the Cubs are still short pitching, the Cubs are still short bullpens. And I think to end the show, Jose, those are like the must moves. The Cubs need to go get pitching. If you do resign Kyle Tucker or not, whatever. That money that you're not going to spend on Tucker, you at least spend it on 5 arms. You get me a good pitcher, hell, give me 2 good pitchers for all I care. I don't even care. You know, Shota may not even come back. He has 1 year left on his deal. That's fine. That's cool. If you give me 2 pitchers, good. Give me 2 middle relief pitchers. Give me a closer. Give me some bullpen arms. I need 5 new, brand new, different faces on this pitching staff before I can even think about what you're going to do with Kyle Tucker. That's all I want. Those are the must moves for the Chicago Cubs for next year for them to be considered somewhat of a contender in the National League.
This I'll give to you and Tony, right? As far as we couldn't manufacture when we lived and died by the home run. That I 100% agree with. I agree with. I wasn't arguing the fact that our bats were good in the play. I was arguing that I feel like good pitching from one of the 2 guys that we're missing would have made. That's just me. I get it. We're going to agree or disagree, Eric. We don't have to sit here and keep going. That's just all I was trying to say, right? Because we really did live and died by the homer.
100%.
And I just felt like given momentum or given a chance, maybe a different mindset, maybe the guys hit a home run. That's all. Regardless, I do agree that we need to add pitching, especially in the bullpen for sure. Right, we need to solidify that next season. But I do find a little bit, whether it's re-signing Tucker or getting somebody close to Tucker in here, because Tucker was a huge spark in the regular season. We don't get to the playoffs without him. So we can't. I don't want to sit here and I guess belittle that in a way because that was important for us. So if we're not going to resign him, great, whatever. Get pitching, but we also need to make sure that the bats stay alive somehow, some way next season. Otherwise, we'll be good on defense, not on offense.
100%. Same story, just a different year, right? All right, Jose. Bears win on Sunday.
Yeah, man. Bears win on Sunday. I think we defeat the New Orleans Saints. Look, I'm not gonna lie. I think you can agree with me on this, Eric. We're very happy about the result of a Bears win. I think what you and I want to see now, and a lot of Bears fans want to see, is us winning convincingly. These last second field goals are a little they're a little nerve wracking, man. I don't want to continue to keep doing this.
I don't mind them. I think it's a good way for the Bears to kind of like learn how to win in any case scenario. I think we already had that win against the Dallas Cowboys here at home. I think that was a game where you could win comfortably. You know what we can have or what this team can have years to come, right? Or even in the season, short term, long term, whatever the case may be. Show up tomorrow, 6:30 tomorrow. Hooters, show up. We'll be there. Lansing. No, I'm being dead ass. 6:30 tomorrow at Hooters in Lansing. We'll meet you right there, Tony. But again, we already had that game that's comfortable. I don't mind these type of games, as stressful as they are, as pissed off as you can get, as whatever you feeling, anxiety, whatever pressure. I really don't care. I think it's good for the Chicago Bears to win this way. And also, to be completely honest with you, Jose, I really don't mind the Bears losing this way too as well, because you learn more from losing than you do from winning. Tony can attest him from that. And I think that's also one of the biggest coaching or one of those big coaching moments is how do you react after a loss? And I don't mind that at all either. But I think these games where the Bears are winning are just fine with me too. I can have I already have my comfortable win against the Cowboys. If I have another one, that's great too as well. I really don't care. But in all reality, Jose, it's fine. Find a way to win, whether if you win ugly or you win comfortably. I think you want to win. I think you want a win that's like between like 7 to 10 points, something that's a little comfortable.
I want to win regardless. I'm with you. It doesn't matter how you do it. It doesn't matter how you do it.
Just do it.
You do it.
Just do it.
All I'm saying is that in order for our team, especially our quarterback, to develop, he has to have games where he can look back and like, okay, this was a statement game. This is a game I know I could always look back at. You know,
Cowboys.
when he, I hear you. I hear you. The Cowboys was a good one, right? But one game, and then and all the other games were pretty shitty, right? It starts to become an anomaly when you have 1 out of 3 games, right? 1 out of 3 games, the common denominator is not that one. You get what I'm saying? Like you look at your season as a whole. You want more of that to be like, hey, this is who I am, not the opposite.
No, for sure. But also at the same time, if you could give me a rushing touchdown, a passing touchdown, 252 passing yards, even though you completed 17 out of 29 passes, you give me that. I think that's still good enough too as well. A good recipe to win, as long as the defense show up and show out. That's 14 points given whatever the take may be. Can you get another touchdown in there? 100%. I agree with you. That's fine too, right? But I think that none of these games are easy. You're gonna have a lot more games like the last 2 games than you are the Cowboys game. But I hear you though. Give us another comfortable win. Give us a game where we win by 10, where it gets a little sketchy, but you still dominated and still ended up winning at the end of the day. I get that. I'm right with you. I think the Bears need another win like that too as well. But most of the games are like that, and I rather have that. As long as you win at any cost, win at any scenario. But also, if you lose, you're going to learn a lot more from losing than you are winning, Jose. And that's a guarantee.
And to your point, when you win like they have been winning these last couple of games, when you find yourself in a grimy game like that in the playoffs, you've been there, you've done that, you can do it again.
100%. And it shows character that this team, no matter what, will fight till the very end, and will continue to be fighting no matter what. And in every game, they have a possibility and a chance to go down and either tie or win the game. That's also a fact too as well, that this team could get done too as well. Tony, we'll see you tomorrow 6:30 at Hooters in Lansing. You join us, we'll be there. John, Jose, and I. Jose, is always a pleasure, man. Like you said, Bears win. I think the Bears win too. They win comfortably. I think this is the other comfortable game that you want for the Bears to win. I think you get that too as well. The Bears get that dub this week at home.
24-10 Bears.
How?
It's not that crazy. It's not 24-10. It's not that crazy.
Oh, I heard 34-10. Oh, no, shit. I was going to say, I know you want to comfortable.
24-10, you get two touchdowns from the quarterback, maybe one from a running back, and then a field goal, you'd be good.
Yeah, I think I'm right with you. 24-13, 24-10 feels about right. I could even see a 28-14, 28-13. I could see the Bears scoring more than 21 points again this upcoming week against a very plucky, I guess you could say, very stout not stout, but a very plucky, probably plucky, very plucky Saints team that won't give up. But again, on the road, they haven't been very well, especially outside. So we'll see how we go. For Jose Contreras, I am Eric Avila. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Isaiah. Thank you for everybody joining us in the comment section. Make sure to follow us on our social media platforms, on Facebook and on YouTube. Like and subscribe on our YouTube page too as well. Share our episodes on Facebook, on your personal page. Help us to get bigger and better as always. And also follow us on all our other social media platforms. For Jose Contreras, I am Eric Avila. We will see you guys next week, 7:30 on a Tuesday, hopefully with another Bears win, so we can add the total from 3-2. And also, Jose, before we leave, dude, the NFC North, everybody with a winning record. That's crazy.
Hey man, it's a good division.
It's a good division.
Everybody's beatable though.
We're right here because you just read my mind. I was just about to say that every team is beatable.
Every team's beatable
in this division. So we'll see. We'll see you guys next week, 7:30 on Tuesday. Go Bears, bear it down. And as always, we'll see you. Thank you guys.
Oh shit. Here we go again.
He's running like he's got a lobster down his pants, showing that he is as slippery as a bar of soap.
Like poop through a diarrhea-infected goose.
Commented about it.
That's fine. That's fine. I'm not laughing about it. You think this is funny? I take this serious.
I'm not.
Real serious. I put my heart and soul into this every single week.
Are we done here?
It's about time.